Did you guys see the article where people who are making 250K a year are living paycheck to paycheck?
I'm a software engineer at Meta. I work on ads for kids, and I only make like 340K. It's really low, I know. Money's been pretty tight, honestly. Living in the Bay Area, it's insane. Like, rent is crazy. I can barely afford basic things.
There's this couple in New York who makes $500,000 a year in household income, and they say they are scraping by. How to make $500,000 a year and still feel average.
And if you think that's crazy, then continue watching, because we're going to see people making $100, $200, $300, $400, even $500,000 a year and still going broke. To me, it's crazy, but by the end of the video, you'll have some sort of explanation, because honestly, they get way worse as we go deeper and deeper into it. At any point, please don't be shy. Drop your comment, whether it be good, bad, in between, or just a helpful piece of advice, because 60% of people that make over 100 grand a year admit they live paycheck to paycheck. Now, the average of this video is 250 and higher. To me, again, it's crazy. Consider subscribing. We have a goal of 100,000 by the end of the year. We just hit a little over 12,000, so I appreciate that support as always. At a minimum, a measly little thumbs up. It at least showed me that you enjoyed something about the video. But without further ado, let's jump into the first clip.
I'm a software engineer at Meta. I work on ads for kids, and I only make like 340K. It's really low, I know. Money's been pretty tight, honestly. Living in the Bay Area, it's insane. Like, rent is crazy. I can barely afford basic things. I feel like I'm definitely lower middle class here.
How much do you pay for rent?
My rent costs like, I think now I'm paying $9,000. What's crazy is the Ramirez family, they used to live here, they only paid $13.50.
Where are they now?
I think they moved to like the suburbs or something, like New Mexico, or was it regular Mexico?
Insane. I mean, I could have told you that, right? Living in the Bay Area, isn't that like one of the most expensive places to live? I don't know if anyone's from the Bay Area, drop your comment, but 9 grand on rent, is that a luxury apartment there, or is that a normal apartment? For some reason, I think it's a normal apartment, but what do you guys think? First of all, where are you from? I'm from Long Island, New York, and that's a super expensive place. The rent's not even that high. I'm here recording this at my townhouse here in Tampa, but I want to hear where you're from. Drop your comment below and then let me know what is the average rent in your city. Let's call it for a luxury place and a normal place, but I have to hear more. Let's go to the comments. First comment says, which again is crazy to me, 340K is unironically barely middle class in a real city. That sounds like really selfish to say, but they may be right. Like New York City, Manhattan, or the Bay Area, yeah, like 9 grand, but that's insane. First of all, 340K, I remember my first part-time job. Yeah, so do I. I was making $6 an hour off the books. It was like 126 bucks a week. I was stocking the shelves at my dad's friend's beer distributor. Don't come for me. I wasn't even allowed to drink alcohol yet, but I was stocking the shelves there. Either way.
There's this couple in New York who makes $500,000 a year in household income, and they say they are scraping by. How to make $500,000 a year and still feel average. First thing, 401k contribution for both the wife and the husband, $18K each. Damn, I forgot that people that are scraping by can invest $36,000. Dropping 42 racks on childcare for 2 children. A $1.5 million home in Brooklyn. Their mortgage payments are roughly $60K per year. Upkeep, property taxes, things like that, roughly $26 to $27K. 3 vacations a year, $18K. Oh no, only 3 vacations? You got 2 cars in New York City. One's a BMW, you're paying $9,600 in lease payments. Children's lessons is running them $12K, and then they're paying $18K for charity. They're servicing their student debt as well for $32K, $10K on random stuff. You got $7,300 left over. A lot of things they could be doing better, but to say they're scraping by, really? Click the follow to break down another one.
I mean, to me, I just don't get a $1.5 million house, but you only make 500 grand combined. And 500 grand, when I say only, that's a shitload of money, right? Like, that's a lot of money. But relative income to relative expenses, or relative expenses to relative income. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like, and then you have all the other costs, the childcare, this, that, the other. You live in a very expensive city to begin with in Brooklyn. You have all these cars. Most people will just take the train or the bus. Either way, I feel like they're doing it to themselves. There's a different way. Like, what do you guys think? To me, that's crazy. Whoa, I almost forgot. Not to mention student loan debt. They have all this other debt that technically, in my opinion, this is my opinion only, you should clear that up before you have other debts to service. But either way, let's go to the comments, because I feel like I'm not the only one that has this type of opinion. The comments are pretty interesting. The first one says, if they compare themselves to the billionaires here, maybe they're tripping. Basically, they're saying that they're not struggling, right? In my opinion, I still think their bills are way too high compared to what they make, but that's just my opinion. I'm pretty risk adverse when it comes to that. I like to make way more than my bills, but again, that's just how I like to operate. 3 vacations a year ain't average. These people need a reality check, not a better budget. Again, they have to touch grass is basically what the common theme here is. And there was another good one, but let me look for it. Here it is. I make 55 grand a year and take care of 6 other people. Let me talk to them real quick. It just shows you the perspectives, and like, people can live on nothing. Like, and I'm not saying nothing. Like, they could live on something, a small amount, right? Relatively 55 grand and make it work. So why are the people we're going to see, because again, it gets crazier, this is nothing, that are making multiple 6 figures going broke? And it's got to be psychological.
This dude makes 300 grand a year but still feels broke because he can't afford a house in LA. He makes 295 grand working 2 software jobs, but he only pays 97 grand in taxes. Not too shabby. 24K goes to the 401k. We got stock and crypto investments, 24K as well. Then we got his housing, 24K a year, which is about 2 grand a month. Not too shabby in LA. Food, 7,200. Card payment, 4,200. So he's a very responsible guy. Here's the kicker. He saves 86 grand. So on top of his 401k and his stock and crypto investments, he's got more than 120 grand in just free cash. Now, if he really was a baller, he'd go all in on either crypto or put that money towards a down payment for a house. I'm just trying to help you out here, buddy. Lastly, we got health, $4,200. He's got the boxing gym, the regular gym, insurance, and of course, you gotta get some leisure time. Restaurants, bars, experience in travel, 10K a year. Overall, I'd say a very responsible guy who works 2 jobs, and you'll be just fine, man, if you move out of LA.
Again, this guy does super well. 2 software jobs, almost 300 grand a year. Seems like he's pretty good at managing his money. By the way, he has over 100 grand in free cash flow. He can just sit on the cash every year, right? But either way, he has that desire, which keep that in mind. We're going to hear a lot of it. Desire, social pressure. He wants that house in LA, right? Software engineer, he needs to show people, yeah, I do well, my man. I need to buy that house in LA, right? Like, ooh, so keep that in mind. We're starting to see some other things here. Average home price in LA, I have it up on my other screen, over $1 million. Again, I'm not from LA. Whoa, for older properties in East LA, average is about 2 to 3 million, 2.8 million on the west side. If anyone could confirm, I know I have a lot of Californians. Yeah, is that right? In my audience, let me know what you think.
I make $157,000 a year and I'm a broke software engineer living in San Francisco. In fact, the cost of living in this city specifically is so expensive that my over 150 grand is more like 50 grand anywhere else in the United States. Or at least that's what a lot of my comments seem to think, and I'm here to tell you, it's not true. My gross income each month, not including bonuses and not including stocks, is $13,400. The biggest thing to come out of my paycheck is federal taxes, which I would pay no matter where I lived in the United States. Then what a lot of people like to talk about is the California state income tax, but as you'll see, I still make more money here than I would if I lived somewhere else. After 401k and health insurance,
I don't disagree with that. People argue tax, but tax is a byproduct, right? It's of what you make. So if you make more, it's relative. Taxes are relative. So like people that argue that, yeah, I don't agree with that, but yeah, he's right there. But either way, again, California is a common theme. Let's see what
take home is just over $8,000 a month, which is almost 100 grand a year straight into my pocket. Now let's address cost of living. I pay $1,600 for rent and utilities, and no, I don't live in a bad area, and yes, I do have roommates. This is only $200 more than I paid in Midtown Atlanta, and salaries here for software engineers are significantly higher. I spend on average $300 to $500 on groceries here a month, which is around what I spent in Atlanta as well. And yes, I'll admit, eating out here is very expensive, but I just limit it. It's a luxury. I don't own a car, so I don't have a car payment because this city is actually pretty walkable, and if I really need to, I can take public transit. I'm very privileged to be able to say I don't have any student loans. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I plan on doing the same with my kids. I spend on average $3,000 to $3,500 a month, meaning I save or invest $4,000 to $4,500 every single month. Now, of course, my expenses would be a lot higher if I had a family or people to take care of. But for right now, I'm a single 23-year-old investing the entire $50K that my salary is supposedly equivalent to anywhere else in the United States. So I think it's kind of funny when people seem to think,
probably a good time to say, if you are broke because you already invested your money and paid your bills, you're not broke, right? There's something that I like to do. I was never the best with money, but I learned to be really good with it as I've studied finance and worked as an investment advisor and helped people with their finances. Anyway, my point in saying all that is what I do now is called reverse budget. So you've probably heard this before. You pay yourself first. What does that mean? Your savings, your investment, 10, 15, 20% of your income, 5%, whatever you could damn afford. Then you pay your bills. Then you have your spending money. And people might be thinking, yeah, well, it's easy for you to say, blah, 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 blah. I don't have any money left at the end of the day. Yeah, well, that's your fault, right? You chose to move into an apartment or house that you couldn't afford. You maybe thought you could afford it, or these, right? It's different between being able to buy it and afford it. It's big difference. So I think a lot of people aren't tracking their numbers and don't know how to track the numbers, and that's okay. That's the point of these videos, is to learn from this stuff and help each other out as a community. So if you have something that you like to do, again, I like to reverse budget. If you have something that helps you, whether it be budget, saving money, or maybe it's none of that, just something that's really helped you, drop it in the comments. I would like to see everyone kind of learn from each other and not just basically use this to make fun of people, because that's not what this is about. Quick intermission to say, if you've been watching to this point, I appreciate your support so much. Again, consider subscribing if you find this to be educational or entertaining at all. At a minimum, a measly little thumbs up. It really does mean a lot to me. But more importantly, I wanted to tell you about the next few videos that are coming up, because the next block we have, which is bad takes of people that aren't defending these people. They're basically calling them out on their BS, because how are you going broke? Like, no one feels bad for you if you make that much money. The next few are going to be about the actual system and maybe why it's happening. Is it rent prices? Is it, again, something psychological by them? Social pressure, something in between? And then we'll kind of go over some other stuff and then best practices that we could all take away, again, to learn from us all of this crazy stuff. But let's get back to the video.
Did you guys see the article where people who are making 250K a year are living paycheck to paycheck? Excuse me while I go find the world's tiniest fucking violin. Like, these are the people that need those top 10 ways of saving money. Please stop buying Starbucks articles. Like, I have 1,000 comments on my poverty politic videos that would absolutely apply to these people's situations. How do you make $250,000 and you're living paycheck to paycheck? It's called a budget. Like just because your income is going up doesn't mean that you need to spend to match it. Like, if I started making $250,000 right now, the first thing I would do is I would get the car that I want, I would lease it, and then at the end of the year, I would have $200,000. Like what the shit do you buy? Your mortgage didn't go up. Your car payments didn't go up. What the fuck?
A lot of cursing. So YouTube, if you hear that, first of all, my editor, we better blank that out, because I'm not, you guys saw it was her and not me, but she has a point. She, a little vulgar, a little aggressive, but she has a point, right? Like, lifestyle creep, all that stuff happens. Like, how did that happen if you're making all of that money, right? Like, the budget, again. So there's a saying that I thought of the whole time. I was kind of distracted because I was thinking of it. You could have anything, but you can't have everything, right? She would go buy the car, 50 grand, she said, for at least 250 to 200 left. I mean, I don't know if she was considering taxes, but that's a lot for at least. So, damn, girl, I don't know what you buying a Bugatti, or I don't know what she's buying, but you could have anything, but you can't have everything. What do I mean? Well, pick and choose. The car's important to her. I'm actually a car guy myself. I got car pictures, right? I have a super nice car, but again, I was able to buy it. I was able to more than afford it. But I wear plain t-shirts. I don't wear luxury items. And like, so again, it's a push and pull. I live in a place that's relatively, I say this in a respectful way, pretty cheap compared to my income. Again, but it's lifestyle by design, right? You could have anything, but you can't have everything. What do you guys think about that? Do you know someone that tries to have everything and it came back to bite them? Do you personally pick and choose? Do you maybe spend on vacations, but then you have a house that you rent or a house that's paid off? Like, where do you push and pull? I'd like to see the different situations.
Am I the only one that doesn't think you're living paycheck to paycheck if you can afford to put money toward retirement and an HSA account and other things like that? Like, I see people talking about how 6 figures, you know, at 6 figures, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And I thought with like savings accounts and this and that, and I'm like, I thought paycheck to paycheck meant if your paycheck, if you didn't get the next one, you ain't gonna be able to eat. You ain't gonna be able to keep a roof over your head. You ain't gonna be able to whatever. Like, I thought it meant if I don't get that check, I'm destitute. I didn't think it meant like, oh, after I've paid all my bills and contributed to my savings, I don't have a lot of money left to go have fun and do things and whatever. You know what I mean? I don't think that is paycheck to paycheck. I think it's something, right? It's uncomfortable. It's not enough. It's not whatever. But it's not what I think paycheck to paycheck means. I think paycheck to paycheck means you will be destitute if you don't get the next one. Am I wrong?
So I agree with her. What do you guys, first of all, what does paycheck to paycheck mean to you? To me, it means that if you don't get your paycheck, then your bills are going to be late, you're going to destroy your credit, and there's going to be severe repercussions when it comes to finances, and maybe even worse. If you, like the goal of a reverse budget, what I mentioned before is my goal is to have my account, my checking account zeroed out, because that means my mortgage is paid, my bills are paid, my health insurance, my credit card, if any, is paid, right? Like those things are paid. My savings account, my high yield savings account, I put a certain amount in there. My Fidelity account, which is my brokerage, SEP IRA, etc., is in there. So my Chase checking should be zero because everything else is already done, as well as my spending money. I move to another account, and that's also taken into account. So basically, it's like accounting. You zero it out, not in a bad way, but in a good way. But if your account's zeroed out or negative and you haven't paid your bills, that's paycheck to paycheck to me. What do you guys think?
A recent study came out that 47% of Americans who make $150,000 a year to $200,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck.
That's a new one for me. If you heard in the beginning of the video, 60% of people making over 100 grand are living paycheck to paycheck. It's just as close, yeah, not as close, but just as close for another 100. Crazy. So it's obviously, it's less of a figure thing, and it's more, I think it's more up here. I believe that.
Now, some of you are thinking, how in the crap does that happen? If I was making $200,000, I would be fine. And it just proves the point, you guys, that so much of personal finance, it's your behavior, it's your habits. I mean, lifestyle creep, it's a real thing. When you're used to living at 100 grand and then you make 120, you get used to that, and then you get used to 140, and it keeps going up. Regardless of how much money you make, your habits really do form around your income. And so that's why you have to be so careful. So don't always have hope that just because my income goes up, I'm gonna be okay. Because the truth is, if you have bad habits and you make more money, you're just gonna make bigger and bigger mistakes. But if you have great money habits and you make more income, then that's a blessing because it's gonna be used to your advantage.
I so agree with that. I think it's all psychological. She took the words out of my mouth. It's funny because I watched these for the first time with you all because, again, that's the point of this video, is to be natural and authentic. The only thing we do is we transcribe them to make sure there's not really crazy profanity like the other lady. We missed that one. Or anything really political or racist or something that I'm not okay with putting into my video because I uphold the standard. But either way, crazy. Took the words out of my mouth. I so agree. Let's go to the comments. Ooh, devil's advocate. I agree, but let's not pretend that 150K today is the same as 150K 10 years ago. What do you think? Okay, all right. I'm not immune to the fact that inflation is real. I did a few videos on that. But that doesn't justify the reasoning for everyone to go broke because, again, I say this in a respectful way. You can make a choice. Like, you could live on a small amount. And again, don't come for me, but I'm going to say I'm comfortable saying that. All right, let's lighten up the mood. This person said, I used to live paycheck to paycheck, but after many years of hard work, I now live direct deposit to direct deposit. Obviously sarcasm, but that's pretty funny. Hold on, before the next one, my husband made 52 grand last year. We're a family of 5 and we do fine. It's all about being responsible. Again, if they could do it, why can't all of us? I feel like at this point, especially at this point in the video, we as the people, we need answers, so the next few are going to do a good job explaining that.
This amount of money right here, I call it the danger zone. Because at this income level, you can afford basic things no problem. So now your internal mind says, all right, it's time to start upgrading, which will then put you in a higher socioeconomic class. Now you'll start to truly feel poor because of the environments you can get yourself into. Now you can take the really nice dinners. You can live in a high-rise apartment downtown where you're gonna meet people who make a lot more than you. And when you surround yourself with people who are doing better than you, you feel behind, even though you're in the 90th percentile of earners. But this is where the bell curve of income falls off, because this is a pretty achievable income just by climbing the corporate ladder. But after about 200,000, it gets really, really tight. Because in order to get to 300,000 a year, you need to be the best of the best, or you need to branch off and do your own thing. And this is the shift of people that are doing pretty well off, and then the people that are balling. Because after 300K, 400K is right around the corner, and then you're at 500K, and then this is where life really starts. And now doors are open up to things you could never imagine. And how do I know this? I got a couple of friends that are in that 400 to 500,000 range, and the stories I hear are absolutely out of control. There's something called the hedonic treadmill, where basically your flatline level of happiness will kind of spike and decrease as life goes on, and the bar will raise and the bar will decrease. But the base level of happiness is where you're content with your life and not the things you have.
So, super interesting video. I don't care about the hedonic treadmill in the second half, but the first half really resonated with me because I've made all of those amounts. I've been broke and I've made those other amounts that he mentioned in the video. That stuff's real. Like, I've been down the path of buying a watch or buying maybe something else that my friends had and feeling that pressure. And then what's important, and my superpower was always course correct, right? I recognize myself going down these slopes and like, whoa, does this... I think about it as not if you're disciplined or not, how disciplined are you, right? So how I explain it to my younger brothers. I have 5 brothers, so I consider myself, I'm in the middle, but I consider myself the one who maybe has a decent grasp on finances and things like that. So how I explained it to my younger brother a few days ago, you're always slowly increasing or slowly decreasing. It's very rare that you're staying flat. That goes for physically, that goes for financially, that goes for emotionally. You want to do your best to... It's okay if you're going up very, very slowly, but you want to make sure that arrow is slowly going up, right? The projection is going up, because when you're buying all of those crazy things in lifestyle creep, it's slowly going down or it's fastly going down, and you have to course correct. That's just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts.
A lot of millennials are realizing this. When you arrive at 6 figures, it's not what we thought of back in the 90s, early 2000s growing up. 100K was it. 100K meant something in our bones and our soul. I remember talking to the guidance counselor, talking to friends. We're gonna make 6 figures one day. We're gonna have it all. We're gonna do it. And then you arrive at 6 figures in 2023. And if you live in the city, you realize it is just enough to get by. And when you think about having kids, this is what me and my wife are thinking about. We're 35 and 36 years old. So if we want to have kids, we got to get after this pretty soon. But she has a great job. I have a great job. We both work 60 hours a week with our side hustles included. And I make 6 figures. But if my wife were to quit her job and we had a kid and stayed home, I wouldn't be able to afford the kid, our life, and the house. So we're having to make these decisions. But then we think, well, if my wife keeps working, takes a little time off, we'll plan for that. But then if we're going to have daycare, I'm seeing some of the daycare prices I would have never imagined, let alone thinking of the crib and the monitor and all this kind of stuff. But I think a lot of millennials are probably having the same conversation me and my wife are having, where it's kind of sad to have to decide of we're on a roll. We're doing great for our savings, investing, and career. We want to bring a kid along, but it's like, we're like, are we going to be able to do it all?
I could speak on behalf of a lot of things, but that one, yeah, I don't have kids yet is what I'm trying to say. I have nieces and nephews, but either way, it is so, we saw the childcare cost, I think it was 42 grand. The other guy was paying the lawyer. I think, let me know if I was right or wrong about that. What do you guys think? I'll leave that up to you guys. If you have a family, how much do you think it changes this? Because I agree, 100 grand with kid, yeah. The childcare is 42 grand a year. What?
Dude, I am telling you, it is not the way to get rich. I am a PGY-8 spine fellow, and I still have not earned the paycheck of a neurosurgeon. There are so many things other than neurosurgery that you can do that will get you to wealth a lot faster than being a neurosurgeon. Being in healthcare, it requires a certain type of masochist to do this type of work. Those are not the people that join this type of field for money, I promise you. Because first you have to do 4 years of college where you don't get paid anything, then you have to do 4 years of medical school where you still don't get paid anything, then you have to do 7 years of residency where you get paid less than minimum wage to work over 100 hours a week. And now I'm 34 years old and I still have not earned the paycheck of a neurosurgeon. And then when I do get my first check, it's not like you're suddenly just wealthy all of a sudden. You have loans to pay off, you have a down payment that you gotta take care of, you have a lot of obligations that need to be addressed before you can be financially secure. I would say you are not financially secure as a neurosurgeon until your late 30s and early 40s. So if you decide to do neurosurgery, suddenly just thinking that you're gonna wake up and suddenly be wealthy overnight, you are completely out of your mind.
2 thoughts here. One, I applaud his authenticity. He's right? You don't just graduate and start making millions of dollars. Yeah, maybe a radiologist or maybe a neurosurgeon, you do start making money, but like he said, you don't even get to that point for 10, 15 years. Sacrifice what you are for what you could be. I love that quote. I live by it. But yeah, they're obviously investing their time, hope for a better future, and congratulations to him. That's a prestigious career in my eyes. Either way, I want to ask you, what do you think is the profession that goes broke the most? And yeah, obviously professional athletes, things like that, but I heard lawyers, doctors, and things like that also are really bad with money. Let me know if you know someone, or even if you're comfortable, if you have that profession, you're comfortable sharing, why do you think that is? Do you think they have to keep up with the profession, like the software engineer guy that needed the house in LA and this and that? What do you think? I think that's a good question.
Today I learned that doctors are the working wealthy. meaning that if they're not working, then they're not wealthy. I don't care what your salary is. I don't care what kind of car you drive. Even if you're out there driving a BMW or a Lamborghini, that doesn't actually matter. It doesn't matter that you make $500,000 a year. What matters is how much is in your retirement. Is your house paid off? How much debt do you have? I don't care how much you make, how much money you make. I care about how much money you have. Your worth is not in your salary. Your worth is what is in your bank account. It's not cool that you wear Gucci. What's cool is that you have a house that is completely paid off, that you have no mortgage payments. That's what's freaking cool. Those are just some thoughts on my drive home about financial independence. Doctors are too high of earners to not really think about being financially independent and being financially literate.
Again, I feel like God's talking to us because I just mentioned that, and that's a good point. Maybe that they're so focused on their field, they're not taking the time to be financially literate, this and that. And she mentioned doctors. Either way, put that to the side for a second. What else did she mention? Because she brought up a good point. It's not what you make, but it's what you keep. And I love that. You can make millions of dollars, but if you spend millions of dollars, you have jack diddly squat. You don't got anything, right? Like, what? And that's what changed for me years ago. It's like waking up. If you make multiple six figures and you look in your investment account and there's nothing there, you're like, what am I doing, right? Like, whoa. And then it hits you like, it's those accounts that matter, not the checking, not what you made at the end of the year, not how many taxes you paid or how much taxes you paid. What did you keep? It's not what you make, it's what you keep. It's everyone's favorite part of the video. I could stop talking because I've been talking way too much. The next few we'll watch all the way through and then we'll kind of reconvene all towards the end.
Here's how I spent my $200,000 paycheck from last month. First things first, I bought $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. I spent $14,000 on my rent for my condo. I paid my parents' mortgage, and that was $3,000. I have 3 cars, so I paid 3 car notes. My McLaren is $4,500 a month. My Escalade V is $3,000 a month, and my G-Wagon is another $3,000 a month. Obviously, I got to insure the cars. My insurance is $1,800 a month. My credit card bill this month was $8,400. I didn't really buy too much. And then I took one of my friends to take courtside. That was $4,500 for 2 tickets. And then I took another group of my friends to go to dinner at one of my favorite restaurants. Paid for everybody, and that was $2,800. Last but not least, I saved $50,000 for taxes, and now I'm broke.
By the way, yes, there's some of the clips in this video, or this section, excuse me, that have a little bit of sarcasm and satire, but I figured I'd lighten up the mood because the principle still applies.
I work in tech sales. My base salary is around $90,000 per year, but I'm expected to make, due to my role, an additional $110,000 per year through commission. So gross, I'm usually targeting around $200,000 per year. But because I live in a high-tech city and a high-tech state, net of taxes, I'm taking home around $13,000 per month. Where I'm getting at is I can't comprehend how people get ahead in this city financially. Let me just walk you through, because I shared a video like this a couple weeks ago and there's a lot of really good questions. And so I wanted to make a second video to kind of expand upon this, because first and foremost, I spent around $250 per week at Trader Joe's. Why? For meal prepping and to bring my lunch to work to save me money in the long run. But flights and travel, that's an additional $2,000 per month. Going out is around $1,000 per month. Rent is $5,000 per month, but it's got a gym and a pool, so that's kind of why it's kind of high. Parking is $800 per month. My morning matcha order is around $20 per day after tip. My co-working space is $50 per day. My daily Uber Eats lunch order is around $40 per day, just because I believe in delegation. I don't want to waste time and energy focused on cooking every single meal. My organic ayahuasca-infused duty-free nootropic-based protein powder is another $420 per month. Where I'm getting at is, despite getting $5,000 a month from my GamGams trust fund and busting my ass working 15 hours a week remotely for this company, I'm somehow in a position where I'm losing thousands of dollars per month before 401k contributions, savings, just like what the fuck.
Now it's lunchtime, just order a salad from DoorDash. So I did this one from Simply Salad. With Dash Pass, I save $18.74. So after tip, it ends up being $108.45.
I'm sorry, do you know where I can put my rubbish?
Yeah, you could just throw your trash on the floor. The cleaners are coming this week, so just throw it, yeah. Dude, these are so gross. These are nasty.
Wait, what are you doing?
Throwing these out. They're stained. We buy new ones on Amazon. Dishes. New. So I'm basically losing money every single month. I'm in crippling debt.
Are there any resources people can look into to help?
There's a ton of opportunities if you want to help out people like me. I just started a GoFundMe to help cover the costs of my living expenses. I raised $171,000 out of $182,000. So thank you everyone for donating. Every dollar counts. My next milestone, I'm going to build an indoor sauna for my apartment. I take USD, Bitcoin, and Litecoin. It's tough. Oh shit, my DoorDash is here.
again, maybe some sarcasm, but the principle still applies, right? People making over 100 grand, all of a sudden and this we haven't spoke about, but they feel like they're superior to everyone, and now they want to order groceries. They want to, and I believe in delegating, and obviously your time, my loss of focus is very expensive. I get it. Trust me, I'm pretty busy. I make decent income, but like the ordering new dishes because they're stained, like, come on, dude, really? Now this one, again, is going to explain why people are stuck, and yeah, this one's probably going to talk my language.
They buy designer to look the part at work. They upgrade their car when they get a raise. They confuse income with wealth. They lease cars that they'll never own. They live in apartments at the top of their budget. They eat out for every meal, every single day. They keep up with their coworkers and what they're spending and how they're spending it. They have hundreds of dollars of subscriptions that they completely forgot about. They never actually calculated their net worth. They think saving 10% of a big paycheck is enough. They have zero invested outside of their 401k. They pay for status, not assets. That's how you stay broke, stupid.
Bada bing, bada boom. I don't even have to comment on that because I fully agree. Let me know if you agree. And here's the deal. 200, 300, 400, 500, just like we've seen as I promised, and they're still going broke, or in some cases they feel they're broke even though they're not because they don't have these 4 key golden nuggets that I'm going to share with you. Again, I've done this. I've had no money and I've had good bit of money, and I have a good bit of money. I say that very lightly. Don't come for me. This is what I do. First thing is, lock your lifestyle. Get used to making no money. What I mean by that is, like, I eat chicken and rice. I understand not everyone wants to eat boring like that, but I haven't drank soda since 7th grade. I've got into those habits because not only does it help my pocket, but it helps my dang health, which to me, health is wealth. So lock in your lifestyle, whether it be, again, you can have anything, but not everything. Choose, they call it your rich life. Nowadays, that's what the kids call it. Choose what you want to spend money on and stop spending in other areas. Number 2 is what he just mentioned, which I really like, is calculating your net worth monthly. Before I did this, I didn't know I had a negative net worth. I had student loans. Since I've paid them back every single penny, which I take pride in. Unless you calculate your net worth, the car's value, your house value, the credit card's value, assets minus liability equal net worth. It's very simple. If you need help with it, drop a comment. I'll help you with it. Number 3, if you're in a high cost of living city, just calculate what it would cost to leave. I understand that your job may be tied to that, and that's okay. I get it. But calculate the alternative, best alternative to a negotiated agreement. BATNA, right? There has to be something else out there, even though it may feel like there isn't. There is an alternative. At least crunch those numbers, and you could kind of see the difference. And then most importantly is it's not what you make, it's what you keep, and you should be paying for assets, not fancy clothes. And listen, again, you could have anything, but not everything. If you want fancy clothes, great. But then live in a cheap apartment or live at home or do this or do that. I don't care what you do. I'm just trying to help you because I've been in the position of having nothing, and now I think I'm on a pretty good path. Either way, I appreciate you so much for watching. I told you this it's just so crazy, these people and these mistakes they make. Again, consider subscribing if you found it to be entertaining, helpful at a minimum. Give it a thumbs up. It helps push it out and at least show me you enjoyed something about the video. Maybe you think I have a good hair. Maybe you think my voice is annoying. Either way, thumbs up means a lot to me. Check out this video right here. YouTube thinks may be best for you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.